I'm Kristen from Tiny Footsteps Travel, and I'm going to tell you about visiting Inverness, Scotland, known as the capital of the Highlands. We really liked it here, and we found it to be an underrated place to visit in Scotland. So I'm going to show you why this place is worth a visit and some really cool things to do while you're in Inverness. I'm also going to show you our itinerary for Inverness that we planned so that you can have it planned out and save time while not missing anything. Downtown Inverness is a really pretty city, and it has a few unique gems that you can't find elsewhere in the UK, so I recommend taking a stroll through the downtown for at least half a day. Our first stop was Leaky's Bookstore. It has been touted as being the cutest bookshop in the UK, and as a result, lots of people pop in here just to see it and take photos. It is very cute. To be respectful though, try to support them by buying a book at least, or at least not lingering there for too long if you don't want to buy anything. They have a decent selection of books and old antique maps, and very sweet and kind, helpful staff. Right beside Leaky's bookshop is the Old High Church. This church actually carries a lot of history of Inverness. The Jacobite army was actually led here to be killed back in the 1700s. So it's a stop on a walking tour that explains the events that led to that. The other thing that most people don't know about this church is that from the graveyard, you have a really pretty view of the Inverness Harbour. Like, this is one of our money shots of Inverness. So now you can see the main bridge from the view, and it's just a short walk from the church. So I do recommend walking out onto the bridge and getting some photos. If you walk onto the other side of the bridge, there's not as much there, but there are some restaurants immediately on the other side. A short walk from the High Church and the bridge is the Victorian Market. It's an old market that's been running since 1870. They have food and shopping. The food court actually has some really good foodie options. It was a nice place to hang out and get a nice meal. We walked around the market after, and there were a lot of shops, and I found that the souvenirs there were a little bit more unique than what you'd find elsewhere, so I recommend checking it out, although the prices were also higher than I anticipated. We did not fit the Inverness Castle into our tour of Inverness because it was closed at the time that we were here. It was closed for a long time, actually. However, it's now open and running, so you can book tickets to visit the Inverness Castle. It would probably have the best scenic views of Inverness, as it's one of the highest points that is right on the harbour. So after all this, on day one, we drove out to Loch Ness for a boat cruise. This might sound a lot for one day, but we did it with kids, including a 4-year-old, so it's totally doable for anyone. If you have more time, then I'd stretch out exploring downtown Inverness to a full day, and then do the Loch Ness boat cruise on a separate day. The Loch Ness lake is so pretty that it's worth seeing even without the monster legend. They do lean into the famous monster legend as a part of the attraction, but when I saw the lake, I was certain this would have been a popular place for visitors regardless of the legend. I was trying to choose between doing a whale and dolphin watching cruise, which you can do from just north of Inverness, as the dolphins like to hang out in the Moray Firth area. We didn't have time for both. However, I'm glad that we picked doing a Jacobite cruise on the Loch Ness because it's something that you can only do in Inverness. There's only one Loch Ness monster legend and one Loch Ness, and there's also only one Urquhart Castle. So these are things unique to the area, so I'm glad we chose that. However, if you do have time, it'd be pretty cool to do both. The cruises leave from somewhere along the lake, and you can choose one that is just a cruise, or you can be dropped off at Urquhart Castle for an hour, which is what we did. Alternatively, you can also just drive to Urquhart Castle. You don't have to be doing a cruise of the lake in order to visit it. Urquhart Castle would be about a 30-minute drive from Inverness. If you do choose the cruise as opposed to driving, then the boats are pretty comfy. On a sunny day, you'd probably have the whole inside to yourself like we do here, as everyone wanted to sit on the top, understandably. Exploring Urquhart Castle from a Loch Ness cruise usually gives you 1 to 2 hours to spend at the castle depending on the cruise. And we found that to be enough. We easily used up the 2 hours without even going into the visitor center because it was such a pretty day, as you can see, and we explored the whole grounds easily. It's definitely a unique place, a beautiful spot with so many pretty views. Culloden Battlefield is another one of the main draws to Inverness in recent years, especially with Outlander popularity. You can't see the Culloden Battlefield anywhere else, and there's no other battle like it. As a result of this battle, which the Jacobite army was defeated in, Important aspects of Scottish culture were banned for a really long time, like kilts, bagpipes, and the Gaelic language. It had a major impact on British and Scottish history. So people do come here for being Outlander fans, but just remember to be respectful and remember that this is a mass grave, a final resting place. The grave markers also do not mean that the person or the clan was buried exactly there. They actually have no idea where they were buried. These markers were put here over 100 years after the battle. I thought I knew a decent amount about the Culloden battle from watching Outlander, but we found the 1-hour guided tour that they do here really helpful. I'd recommend it. Even with our 4-year-old there, she did okay on the tour, and we were really happy to learn a lot of first-hand information. This building here, where you see that some bricks are sticking out, it symbolizes the lives lost on both sides. Only 50 stones on the government side and 1,500 stones for the Jacobites. Coming to the center, spending money on food, souvenirs, or guided tours, it helps the center preserve the memory of the Jacobites and the Culloden battle.
Snow and sleet of the highlands.
This cottage here is called the Leaky Cottage, and it's a replica of the original that stood here during the battle. The original was a field hospital for government soldiers. It's fallen apart and been rebuilt, but the current structure has been here since the 1800s, so it's still pretty old. And someone was actually living in it until 1912. So now it's just a site that you can see on the battlefield. You can't go inside, but you're welcome to take a peek if you want. I like that the guided tour is, I think it was only 45 minutes, and it still allows you time to explore the grounds at your own pace afterwards if you want to. We went up to this roof. It's an environmentally friendly roof with environmentally friendly heating, and you can get a view of the grounds from the top. We found it pretty worthwhile to eat lunch at the Culloden Battlefield. They had a very decent cafe with genuinely delicious options, even vegan donuts. So I definitely recommend stopping there for lunch if you happen to be there around that time. So if you're already going to the Culloden Battlefield, don't miss the Clava Cairns, which is just 5 minutes away. It's an ancient burial ground, and it's also very interesting. It's from the Bronze Age, and it's about 4,000 years old. It's gotten a lot of popularity recently because the stones here are said to be where the idea of the magical stones in Outlander came from. So now it's a place where tour buses stop, and it can get a little bit busy, but I still find it pretty low-key here. It's a nice place to visit. Because of how old it is, we don't even know 100% why they were put here, why they were reused, or everything about the people that built them. But that's also why what makes a visit here just so fascinating and worth your time. On a busy day, you may have to wait your turn to get photos and videos inside of this mound, but eventually it'll clear out, especially if you wait long enough. I have one more really cool thing to see on day 2 in Inverness, in addition to the Culloden Battlefield and Clava Cairns. I recommend just heading over to the Culloden Viaduct, which is really close to Clava Cairns. It's just really pretty, and it looks similar to the Glenfinnan Viaduct, which is on the other side of Scotland. We knew that we probably weren't going to make it to the Glenfinnan Viaduct because of our schedule, but it's the famous one that is known for carrying the Jacobite train and being known for Harry Potter being based on it. So it's pretty popular. This one looks very similar, and it's also an active viaduct, so if you're lucky, you might even see a train go by. While visiting Inverness, we stayed at Tangle Tower, which is an old World War II watch house, and I'm going to show you a little bit of the inside of it later, but for now, I want to show you the North Inverness area where Tangle Tower is located, because it's really beautiful, and it's something that you could do on day 3 if you're looking for more nature-based things to do in Inverness. The North Inverness area looks onto what's called the Moray Firth, and there's a few things to spot here. One is dolphins, if you're lucky. They like to hang out in the waters of the Moray Firth, and we were lucky to spot them from a distance, snacking on fish, I presume, in the waters just in front of the Kessock Bridge. You can do a dolphin spotting cruise, and they leave from a marina just here in North Inverness. And by the way, Inverness isn't that massive. It only took 5 to 10 minutes to drive from this area to downtown Inverness. So you can probably also take public transit. Let's talk about the bridge that you'll see. The Kessock Bridge is a more modern landmark of Inverness. It's over 3,000 feet long, so it's quite long. We actually ended up driving over the bridge on our way to drive deeper into the highlands to go to Isle of Skye, so you might find yourself doing that. I've also heard that you can walk on the bridge. There's a beautiful nature reserve just west of here called the Merkinch Local Nature Reserve. Since we were staying at Tangle Tower, we wandered over here a few times, and it had gorgeous sunsets, really nice wildlife, including some seabirds. We had lots of nice walks in the reserve. It was a really nice place, and there's lots of other similar green spaces around this North Inverness area, so I recommend spending some time here if you have extra time in Inverness. So I'm going to show you a little bit of the inside of Tangle Tower. It's an old building from World War II era, and it's located right on the shoreline of the Moray Firth, which is really nice. By the way, I'm not in any way affiliated with Tangle Tower. I just paid to stay here like anyone else. I booked it through booking.com. I just really recommend it. It was a really nice place for us to stay. You definitely can't beat a view like this from your kitchen or from your master bedroom, which is right beside the kitchen. This is the living room, very cozy. We found the couches so comfy. And just outside the living room is the bathroom, and it has a full bath and a shower. And it's the only bathroom in the house, so that's important to know if you're staying with toddlers, which we were. But they did provide a pack and play, so she slept in the lower level with us. The second floor is a cozy little bedroom. It also has a few windows with a really nice view as well as of the water. The special thing about Tangle Tower, though, was the actual tower. The bedroom on the third floor, which actually wasn't a bedroom, but you could set it up as a bedroom. The views from there were just breathtaking, and they also provided you with telescopes so you could get a better view of whatever you were looking at. It was just really cool. It made this place super special. We spent a lot of time in this room just enjoying the view. It's such a peaceful place. And through this window just over here, just beyond the street, that's the nature reserve that I was just showing you before. That's how close Tangle Tower is. I'm going to end this video by showing you a video we captured of a dolphin just swimming through the Moray Firth waters right in front of Tangle Tower towards the Kessock Bridge. Inverness was a really special place to stay. I'm so glad that we came here, and I hope that this video gave you some ideas of things that you can do when you're up in Inverness. Thanks so much for watching. If you found it helpful, I'd really appreciate a subscribe because I provide a lot of good Scotland content and travel content from all over the world. So thanks so much, and have lots of fun in Inverness.